Hi, I'm Kate Magic and I'm here today to tell you about my new website, Kate's Magic Bubble. I've been doing raw foods for nearly 20 years now. I've been interested in holistic health for the most part of 2 decades, and I consciously made a decision to become a raw fooder in 1993. In that time, I've experienced such a remarkable transformation in my own health and well-being, and witnessed it in thousands and thousands of other people. I've met countless people who really enjoy this way of eating and can testify to the extraordinary benefits it has. It's really hard to put into words how good raw foods actually are. It's something that we don't really have the language for in our culture. We have this understanding of health being like an absence of disease, but actually what we're talking about here is a whole new level of health. I'd say the benefits are physical, obviously, so I have more energy and more stamina and I need less sleep, but they're also mental, so I can think really clearly. I have a lot more focus and a lot more clarity. Emotionally, just people tend to report that they feel more uplifted and more positive about their life and themselves. And spiritually as well, it's a very spiritual diet, I would say, the raw food diet. It brings a greater sense of spiritual attunement and vibrancy and just peace with the world. So in my time of doing it, I've learned a lot of stuff. I've learned a lot of stuff about how to transition onto the diet. I've also learned how to sustain the diet and the things where people often get pulled off course. They get imbalances in the diet or the common cooked foods that people find it really difficult to give up. So I can really help you understand, one, how to get on the diet, but then two, how to stay on the diet. And then once you are on the diet, it brings up a whole load of other stuff because we're not just dealing with the physical body. This is holistic health and we're dealing with the emotional body and the spiritual body as well. So I can help you navigate some of those emotionally choppy waters that often arise for people. I've written 3 recipe books. This was my first book, Eat Smart, Eat Raw. This is the most basic book, suitable for beginners. Then came Raw Living, more use of Vitamixes in and dehydrators. And then we've got Raw Magic, which is the world's first superfood recipe book. This is all full of superfoods. And I've brought my own personal copies along here. As you can see, they're quite battered because these are the actual recipes that I use to feed my family day in, day out. I've got 3 boys. They're currently aged 7, 11 and 13, and they're on a raw food diet as well. So I really have a good understanding of how to make this work in a domestic kitchen in a busy, hectic 21st century lifestyle. The diet, the way I teach it, is a very mineral-rich diet. We have a lot of vegetables, a lot of sea vegetables, nuts and seeds, sprouts, but we also, I really love my desserts, and I'm really big on making delicious and exciting cakes, chocolates, sweets, puddings. So I share a lot of that on the bubble, not just the how to get your greens into you in interesting ways, but also how to make the most fantastic cakes and chocolates that you've ever eaten. I'm a very creative person. I'm always making things. I'm always loving to make new things up. So the bubble is now where I put all my new content. Everything on the bubble is exclusive. I don't put it anywhere else. And I promise to post at least 2 things a week, usually 2 or 3 new, fresh items a week. And that can be recipes, videos, articles, interviews, all sorts of exciting things. You probably primarily know me as a raw chef, and all my new recipes I'm now putting on the bubble, and I actually feel that these are my best recipes ever. Also, I've always done a lot of writing, and all my new articles are going on the bubble. I write a lot about raw foods, but also I bring it out a lot into the wider world, not just about the food, but about the whole lifestyle and how to incorporate it into this confusing, busy, crazy world that we live in. And I do lots of interviews. I love to chat. I've got so many really interesting, fascinating friends. Some of them are people you may know, heard of, people like Matt Monarch, Tonya Kay, Annie Pio, Alex Malinsky, Angela Stokes. But lots of them are people that you might not have heard of, but they're just experts in their field. So people who are colonic hydrotherapists, Reiki practitioners, herbalists, yoga teachers, all kinds of interesting things. People who can share their wisdom and insights with you and make all this stuff more easy and accessible for you to get into your life. I get sent in a lot of questions. People ask me questions all the time, and unfortunately I don't have time to answer people's queries individually. But if you send me your questions on the Bubble, that's where I can answer things, and then I post them so everyone can read. So we're getting this really amazing, actually, because people ask the best questions, we're getting this really amazing growing database of really interesting information when people send me in their questions, and I answer things, everything from, you know, how to deal with weight loss, to pregnancy, to anorexia, to partners, just all kinds of things go on there. So if there's a problem that you're struggling with specifically, going through the Bubble is a really good way to get a really good answer. Finally, the cherry on the cake for all this is the discounts that you get on your shopping. Both the Raw Food World and Raw Living offer you discounts on your shopping if you're a Bubble member. With the Raw Food World, you get 12% off all your shopping, and with Raw Living, you get up to 10% off. So if you're the sort of person who's regularly spending money at either of those shops and spending around £100 a month, you'll save the price of your membership on just the discounts that you get alone. In a nutshell, the Bubble is a place where I put all my outpourings of love for this planet and this life. And I believe that we all have the power within ourselves. We all have the tools to make the change that we need to see in the world and to put things right. So the Bubble is my way of doing that, to create this place where we can put more bliss and love and magic into the world. So I'd really love it if you could join me here and help me in my mission to create a better world for us all.